welcome back to another episode. Thanks for joining us. If you haven't already, please make sure you like and subscribe, follow the channel, keep up to date with the content that I'm putting out there. So what I'm going to talk about today is a recap of day 2 of the Torian Pro. So yesterday I did a recap of day 1 from the Torian Pro. So I wanted to have a look at the elite teams and the elite individuals, what happened throughout day 2. So obviously I'm not physically at the Torian Pro, I've just been watching the live feedback. Okay, so this is just my recap of what happened. So on the team side, they had 2 events yesterday. So event 3 was Han. So very, very, very shouldery. So teams were struggling with that 100-foot handstand walk. They also had to do it in quite large segments. So if they didn't make it all the way through those segments, they then had to go back. Now, a lot of teams were getting really close to like the end of the segment, and then one of their team members wasn't able to get over the segment. So then that team member had to go back. So I know like with Chris Hogan's team, for example, from what I recall of the video, they didn't even get one full length done for all of their team members because one of their male team members couldn't get past that first length. So that would have been quite disheartening. Now, Team Awaside, they came first in Han. They absolutely crushed that workout. There was no struggles from their teammates. They were all consistently able to walk the whole length. I even saw Tremaine, he literally did all of the 100-foot lengths unbroken without even stopping. It was like as though he's just naturally walks around on his hands all the time. He was walking on his hands as fast as I can walk on the ground. So it was pretty impressive to watch. 64 Army Gold came second, and in third place was 64 Army Steel. So we had 2 New Zealand teams. Okay, they came second and third. And then Urban, who's currently sitting in second place, they came 9th in that event. So they had a little bit more struggles with those handstand walks, but however, they did finish the workout. That was the results of event 3 for the teams. So the next event that the elite teams had was event 4 and 5, which was the clean and jerk ladder. So the women lifted and then the men lifted. Okay, so event 4 was obviously the women. Now, Reebok CrossFit Frankston, they came first, so they hit a 208 kilo total. Kate Gordon, she was the only female from the team side to lift that barbell, and she did it so impressively. She power cleaned that bar like as if I was power cleaning 55 kilos, and it looked like it was easy and so comfortable for her. It was impressive to watch, so that was awesome to see. Now, second and was an equal second place was CrossFit Urban and 64 Army Gold. Now they both teams hit 204 kilo total with their teams lifts on the female side, so they tied for second place. On the male side, so out of the male athletes from the teams, we had Star Strength Botany who came first, so they hit 312 kilos. Urban came second with a total of 295 kilos. And then third was 64 Army Gold, which was 292 kilos. Now, it was interesting how with the teams, they were only allowed to have 1 attempt at the bar. So if they messed it up, that was it. They didn't get to have a second go. Whereas the individuals, which we saw later on, actually got to have a second attempt inside their window. So I felt like that if some of the athletes who, had a little bit of nerves or whatever and missed that first attempt, if they had have been given a second attempt, I feel that some of the standings and the rate results would have been a little bit different. All right, so that's on the team side. So they only had those 2 workouts yesterday. They still have 2 workouts to go. So right now they'll be doing them as I release this video. So it'd be the worm burpee and the final, okay? I don't think that the top 3 are going to change. So 64 Army Gold, Urban and Awaside. I believe that those 3 teams are all going to punch their tickets to the CrossFit Games. All right, let's go on with the individuals. Now, the individuals, they had 3 events yesterday. So their first event was Han. So the workout's actually designed after Hannah. Her name was Hannah, and she lost her life to domestic violence back in 2019, I believe. So pink was a color that she was never allowed to wear, so everyone in the stadium was wearing pink. Also, the rep ranges for the rope climbs, the 6, 4, and 3, that was the ages of her 3 children. First place in hen was Royce Dunn, and my God, did he make that look easy. He was comfortable the whole time. No stage was he struggling anything. Now, I think a big advantage for him is, so it was a shorty rope. So you had to jump, obviously, to get onto the rope, and then you had to find the end of the rope, lock it off, and then obviously if you were a shorter athlete, you had to do maybe 2 climbs, but some of the taller athletes only had to do 1. Now, Royce Dunn, he jumped up, locked out, stood up, and he's literally half his arm was already on top of where he had to touch. So for those rope climbs, it was way less work for him and less effort, and you could just see that he was just moving smoothly through the workout. Second place was Luc de Jong. Okay, so he is doing a great job this weekend. He's really pushing that top of that leaderboard. He's currently sitting in second. He was doing excellent. Just consistent the whole way. So he just has like this attitude of being able to just push through, and nothing seems to falter him at all. Then third place was crowd favourite James Newbury. So he really brought back the James Newbury that we know in that workout, and he did a great job. He just consistently went through. At no stage did he make any mistakes, and that was his style of workout. A standout for that event actually was John Champion. So I've actually done a previous episode with John. Make sure you go check it out. It was before Torian Pro. So one of the things I really noticed with John Champion is he would come down the rope and he would keep a hold of it. He wouldn't let it go. It was like as if he's like, okay, you can hold onto it for a couple of seconds and then you got to go straight into that next rep. And I thought that was pretty cool. He did a really fast time in his heat. Pretty sure he won his heat as well. But yeah, he was probably one of the biggest standouts I saw on the men's side for that workout. Now, event 4, it was double trouble. So this one, Luc de Jong, again, won this workout. Okay, so we keep hearing this name, Luc de Jong. He's quite a young kid. Very entertaining on the camera as well. After this workout, he still had the clean jerk lab to go, but he was holding a beer. He reckons he doesn't drink, but who knows. Very entertaining to watch. His drag rope double unders was so consistent the whole time. He broke at certain times if he needed to, which wasn't often. It was only in like that last set of 100. And he just really seemed comfortable. He set a comfortable pace on that Rogue Echo bike, and at no stage did he break up his hang dumbbell snatches. He was comfortable moving through. He sped it up as he got closer to the end as well. Now, right behind him was, in second place, was Calm Porter. Calm Porter really showed that this style of workout was his kind of workout. He knew that he is strong on the Rogue Echo bike. He was comfortable with his drag rope double unders, really comfortable. He was pushing Baden Brown the whole time, who came third. And both of them were like pushing off each other, and you could see that Baden Brown kept looking over to Calm Porter to see where he was at. But Calm Porter was just a little bit too far ahead, and Baden wasn't able to catch him. So in that workout, we had Luc de Jong, Calm Porter, Baden Brown. Alright, so the next event 5 for the men, was the clean and jerk ladder. In first place, we had Jake Standen. Second place, Brendan Swan. Third place, Evan Morris. Each of those athletes all successfully hit the 161 kilo bar. They were the only 3 athletes to do it. Several other athletes actually attempted the weight, however, didn't get it. So there was a tie break time with each of the lifts. So say if it took me 10 seconds to lift the 161 kilo bar, but it took the person who came after me or before me 13 seconds, then the person who took the least time to get that bar up and locked out won that lift. Okay, so that was pretty cool because it also added an interesting factor of not just waiting for the bar, like having that time and utilizing the time when you go to lift. So you're like, are you going to be able to lift under fatigue? It was interesting to see also Jake Stanton and Evan Morris. They opted out of the second last barbell, whereas Brandon Swan, he hit the second last barbell, and then he went into that last barbell. So he felt comfortable with that as well. One big thing that we saw was Royce Dunn. He actually missed the 161. He kind of like went with that tie break, knowing that that time had been hit. He hit that bar straight away, rushed the jerk, missed the jerk. Then in the same minute window, so it's like 50 seconds, he then got the 161 up and missed the jerk a second time. So it is super impressive that he was even able to lift 161 kilos after doing all the other barbells and then getting up to that 161, missing it, and then doing it again. So that was pretty cool to see. So that's the results of the men's side. Then we had the individual women. Okay, so event 3 was hen again. So first place was Courtney Haley, second place Alethea Boone, third place was Simone Arthur. First and second, Courtney Haley and Alethea Boone, they were both in the same heat. And it was a race, a hot race the whole time between them. But Courtney Haley just got a little bit further around in front of Alethea Boone each round. So both ladies so strong on their handstand walks, no problems with their rope climbs at all. And it was honestly just a race between each other. And it was so cool to watch, like how fast they were going. They were kind of like pacing off each other, pushing each other. And they didn't allow each other to have that rest kind of period because obviously each other was pushing the other one to keep going. And then Simone Arthur, she came third and she did a really good job as well. It's interesting to see as well, all 3 of those athletes are ex-gymnasts. So means that obviously they're so used to being on their hands for a long period of time. They don't have any problem with rope climbing, which is also another thing they would have been doing in gymnastics. And then the lunge walk obviously would have just been an added extra movement. Then event 4, double trouble. This one also had a cool race, okay? So first place was Cara Saunders, second place was Laura Clifton, third place was Ellie Turner. All 3 of these ladies were in the same heat, so the final heat. Now, Laura Clifton got onto the last set of dumbbell hang snatches before Cara Saunders. So I think she was about 6 reps or so in front of Cara Saunders. And then Cara Saunders' cycle rate for her hang dumbbell snatches was just a little bit faster than Laura Clifton. She ended up beating her by like 1 second. So there was a bit of miscommunication that we saw with Laura Clifton and her judge. The judge told her she was finished. Laura Clifton was like, not, so she did more reps. And then Cara all of a sudden finished, and then Laura Clifton finished. So Cara is very seasoned athlete, so she knows exactly when to push the pedal. She knows when to watch what her fellow competitors are doing, and she'll just run her own race, but at the same time, she is so aware of what is going on around her. She's very comfortable out on the floor, which is evident to see. And now we saw Ellie Turner. She came in third, and she also was right behind those 2 girls the whole time. Like, it was so close and tight between those girls. Then on event 5, we had the clean and jerk ladder. Now, only 5 women successfully lifted the 111 kilo barbell. Okay, so first place was Bailey Rogers. Now, she is a ex-Commonwealth Games lifter for New Zealand. She did a great job. It looked so comfortable, so smooth. Her power out of the bottom of that squat clean was exceptional, and she just made it look effortless. Then second place was Cara Saunders. She's a very seasoned lifter. She had no problems whatsoever with that weight. She was quite comfortable, and she made it look quite easy as well. Then third place was a tie. So Annika Roberts and Laura Clifton both took the same amount of time to lift that barbell. And then the only other woman to lift it was Olivia Kelly. Now, it looked like Olivia Kelly was having a little bit of problem with her leg before she hit that barbell. But still, her Olympic lifting background definitely made her a strong competitor in that event. And she did great. Like, it didn't look hard for her. Her 111 kilo lift actually looked easier than her previous lifts. And she looked super comfortable doing it. No problems whatsoever. For the elite teams and the elite individuals, on day 3 they've got 2 more workouts to go. This is the overall standings after day 2. So the teams, we've got 64 Army Gold, Urban, and then a Wayside. Like I said, I don't think that this is going to change. I think it's going to be the same teams to go to the CrossFit Games. Okay. On the men's side, we have Jay Crouch in 368 points, Luke De Jong in second on 366 points, only 2 points behind. Third place is Royce Dunn with 361, so really close behind still. Fourth place, Luke Fizzo on 356, and then fifth place, James Newbury on 344. That's only between first and fifth, a 24-point gap difference. So at this stage, it's still anyone's game of who's going where back to the CrossFit Games. It could be anyone's race. So Baden Brown is currently sitting in 6th place. Calm Porter is in 8th. And then round out top 10 is Jack Clark. Now, I do think that Baden Brown, he's still pretty close up to the top as well. So anything could happen in those last 2 workouts. We'll just have to wait and see. On the women's side, we've got Cara Saunders in 1st place with 464 points. I really don't think 1st place is going to change for the women. Okay, Cara is very, very strong competitor. She has definitely got this in the bag. Then in 2nd place, we have one of my favourites, Laura Clifton, on 380 points. And then 20 points behind her in 3rd place is Ellie Turner. So I'll be super excited for Laura if she makes it to the games. So she obviously qualified last year, then couldn't go to the games, but she did the online version, the first stage. So it'll be cool for her to actually go physically over to the games and compete in person, which would be an awesome experience for anyone. And then in 4th place, we've got Alethea Boone. And then in 5th place, we've got Christy Bishop or Christy Hollard. Okay, so with 2 workouts to go, there still could be a little bit of a shuffle, but I do think that 1st, 2nd, and 3rd might be cemented for the women, but I think it's going to be a little bit of a different story on the men's side, depending on how the last 2 workouts go. Once again, thanks so much for tuning in, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Keep up to date with what I'm trying to put out there. Thanks.